So I had a moment of clarity today when I finished my workout in the sauna. And I just sat there and just thought to myself, like, wow, you are really living out one of your fears. And that is public speaking. Something else that scares the crap out of me is being judged, being called names, uh, what else? Like little minute, like small silly things like that. For whatever reason, like when I got on YouTube, like I didn't think anything. I wasn't thinking about that stuff for real, for real. It was more so like I don't know what I'm gonna do. And really, like since I do talk about personal things when I grew up, like what I seen and what I learned from seeing this and the dysfunction, like of course like I thought about my family, like are they going to judge me? I don't want to offend them by telling my story, but it's just something that needs to be said. And in my family a lot of stuff has been swept under the rug, and when I try to come out and point these things out, I get attacked. But I'm at the point now, like it used to bother me, now it's just like what, like that's just, I'm not even worried about it, it's whatever. But when I was younger, I used to always have people trying to limit me, have people tell me to be something other than who I was. I was extremely outgoing. Whatever questions that I needed to ask, that I wanted to ask, I was asking it. And I don't care how uncomfortable it made you, I was asking it. And I was a happy kid. I had a lot of friends, people wanted to be around me. I was a whole vibe. But throughout the years, just people telling me like, I'm asking too many questions, I'm too loud. You're right here, I can hear you. Why are you talking so loud? That was one thing that people used to say. So just after a while, you can imagine how that would change somebody's psyche, and they'll start to become something that's not of a nuance, not bothering other people. You want to minimize yourself. Well, I had got to that point, and it was really bad because like and I found myself doing this stuff still today. Like it's something that I really have to kick. But if I wanted to say something, or if I knew like something burning in me is like speak, I would find myself getting choked up. And that was just like a response from, my childhood and into my early adulthood also. These were habits that I had just accrued, and I didn't realize that I had picked all of this stuff up until I had my spiritual awakening. Now, being on YouTube, I am putting myself in a position to be judged. I'm putting myself in a position to I don't know, like I'm putting myself, I feel like I'm on display. I'm putting myself on display, but I really don't look at it like that. Like I guess it's like my soul self don't look at it like that, because I'm just being me, and I'm comfortable being me. And if you want to judge me for being myself and telling my truth and just not being scared to say the things that other people are scared to say, then that's just something that you got to take up with yourself. But it's very natural for me to just be myself, no matter how awkward or weird I may be. It's all good though, because I accept people. Most people, I accept most people for who they are. But yeah, it just didn't dawn on me because I don't know. It was just so natural for me to just get on here. I just knew I wanted to talk. I knew I want to uplift others. I know I like bringing out the spark in other people, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do with it. But something told me just talk, get up on here and talk. And like it just became so overwhelming. I didn't even realize it was a freaking Mercury retrograde when I started my daggone YouTube channel. But it's all good. We're gonna rock with it and just roll with it from here. Lesson learned. I just got too excited. But these are things that I do sometimes. I just jump straight into stuff when I have like a bunch of confidence. I jump straight into it and I'll figure it out later. Probably shouldn't live like that, but I learned a lot of lessons doing things that way. But I'm not going to do anything super wild, just jump straight into something that's just like super crazy. There's certain things that it's like, this may be good, but let's see. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna know until I find out. The only way to find out is just to do it. But yeah, I thought that was cool. Maybe it's cool. I don't know. But I just know I wanted to get on here and encourage you guys too that, our fears are just really small. And a lot of our fears come from shit that we created in our minds. Or it's coming from other people, but those other outside people's, the non-personalized characters, they, or it's not, maybe not even them. It's also like your close people, because the enemy, sometimes God uses the enemy to attack you, to, well, not to attack you, maybe I worded that wrong, but to teach you a lesson, because you do have free will. But these people, they come into your life to like minimize you. And I just look at these people as like tests. Like throughout my time, my 35 years, I'm seeing now that along these people were just tests along the way to like see, how are you going to respond to this? Oh, this person is telling you that you're asking too many questions. Let's see if you're going to stop asking too many questions. And I folded. I stopped asking too many questions. But it's easier to start manipulating a child, because child's mind isn't developed. We all know that. And that was a test I failed. I kept failing these tests until I start realizing what the fuck's going on. And the answer for me was just going back to my childhood and just like unlocking all those things, because it's all silly. These things are all silly. What people told you to minimize who you are because they seen your greatness before you did. Let's be real. And that's why they start you in your childhood, programming you in your childhood, telling you who you're not, telling you who they want you to be. And that's why when you get older and you see, oh, okay, you were threatened by me when I was a kid. That's what's going on. That's why you was trying to tell me that I talk too much. That's why you told me that I asked so many questions, because you seen that spark. As soon as I started being my authentic self, that's when you're like, subconsciously, they're like, oh, we got to get this motherfucker out of here. We can't let this one, no, this one cannot wake up. These are all tests. And there's nothing wrong with failing these tests until you start getting it right. Because the only thing that matters is you start getting it right. You see what's going on and you correct it. You have to check it. But yeah, I don't know. Just YouTube, just for this to be a huge platform, I just didn't think of it. I didn't look at it as a way of, wow, you're putting yourself on a platform where hopefully millions of people will see these videos that I've made one day. And I really don't care about being judged or anything. I don't care about that. It's so small, because I look at this as a diary. Being that this is social media, being that it is such a huge platform, my grandkids are going to be able to look back at this. So that's why I can't pay attention to like other outside stuff, because I'm doing this ultimately for them. They're going to be able to look back and see their grandma, great grandma, whatever. I'm going to be their ancestor one day. And I want them to have like a real life, that's closest to a real life experience into my head, into what I overcame, and for them to know who I am, instead of somebody else telling them who I was. Here it is right here. I'm on display right here for them. Whatever else comes with it, all right, cool, yeah, we'll deal with that later. But for real, I'm doing this for my generation, for that lineage that's coming after me, and the ones that are here right now. And they're gonna look, whenever I start like really gaining traction, and the crazy shit that's said, or the positive stuff, they're going to be able to see all that stuff, and they're going to be able to draw their own conclusions and see like, oh, look at all of this stuff, look at the negative stuff, look at the positive stuff, and look how she's reacting to it. I want my grandkids, my lineage to have like front row seats into who I am. I don't want there to be any confusion. I don't want there to be any lies told when I'm gone. That's the way that I look at it. That's the approach that I take. But yeah, maybe because of that, I'm thinking more about them and they're not even here. Maybe that's the reason why this is just so easy for me to just get on and talk. Or maybe it's just I'm comfortable being myself. Because these are things I used to have fears. Like, I really used to fear these things. Like, my stepdad used to call me Shaky P because he says I look terrified. When we had went grocery shopping one day, and this is when like he first had came around. He said I look terrified in the store. But it's not me being terrified, it's me analyzing. I'm scanning everybody. That's just something that I do. But I don't know. Now I just really don't care. I really feel like a flowing spirit. Like, no joke. Like, I'll be in Wawa singing in the store. I will dance with my kids in the store. Like, and I just don't care when people are looking. If they're looking, I don't know. Because I'm not worried about them. This is a memory I'm creating with my kids. I look at that. I don't know, guys. I just wanted to give you guys, I guess, that insight. Our fears really isn't that scary. We tell ourselves that it's scary, but these are things that we've created. And if you look at it that way, doesn't that sound silly? You're basically afraid of what you created. And it's all in your mind. So whatever it is that you're scared to do, what is your biggest fear? Whatever it is, do it. And don't worry about how silly you look or how much you may tremble or how many fuck ups you make. We all have to get to a point. We all have something that we need to overcome. You do not want to leave this planet with anything on a freaking table. You don't want to look back and be like, damn, I wish I would have did that. Leave nothing on the table when you leave this planet. Conquer all your fears, or as much of your fears as you can while you're here on this planet right now, because we're just little tiny people. We're tiny people. I am a 5 foot 124 pound little tiny mechanism to this planet. Why would I limit myself? Why would I let my fears get in the way of what I could possibly do? I'm not doing that shit no more. And I don't think you guys should either. But yeah, let me know what your fears are and tell me what you're going to do to conquer it, because that's what we're doing. We're getting over our fears. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there to y'all really quick. That was pretty dope though. But yeah, I'll talk to you later. Peace.